on the top of the world. Get ready to tell him. Now is my time. Now is my time.
Going right back, gonna flip it up. He's got a back flip.
It's the place.
Oh my goodness!
Right on my tail.
Tyler Menega comes up.
And he's gonna land it.
The time is right. Now is the time, and we here to fight. I came here to ride or to die, to be right on the top of this mountain and feel the.
We are back in the Motor City, downtown Detroit, Michigan, as Ford Field once again welcomes Monster Jam faithful and the drivers from Stadium Championship Series East. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Monster Jam Primetime. I'm Scott Jordan alongside Adam Enticknap. Business has picked up on this series. We now have a tie at the top of the point standings between Bari Musawwir and Tyler Menega. Let's talk about both of these contenders, starting with Tyler. Last time Tyler won an event championship was all the way back in January, Saturday night in Anaheim. That's 7 events since he was in victory lane. Adam, what attributes to Tyler's fall from the top?
Well, I think one of the big things, Scott, is that truck has been giving them issues. Matt Gong has been working on it all season long, but they've had a lot of rear steer issues. With that being said, they still have 11 competition wins, which is more than anybody else. Tyler Menega somehow still getting it done, but it has to be frustrating.
A driver who's really been getting it done is Zombies Bari Musawwir. Last round, he collected his 4th overall event championship. He's been quietly chipping away at Tyler's lead. What have you seen out of Bari that might be a little different than years past?
Well, it seems like to me that it started at the beginning of the year. He just had a little bit more momentum and he elevated himself that little bit he needed to get it done. He's always been Mr. Consistent. He's made a career off of that, but lately he's just been that little bit better.
Let's hear from the round 14 event champion who's with Leslie Mears. In this Northern Tool and Equipment pit report, we go to Ford Field and Bari Musawwir.
Yeah, guys, super exciting to see it all go down yesterday. And Bari, I know that you've employed a lot of strategy this season. So talk a little bit about what you've been doing that's helped you get to this point where you're tied up right now.
Well, you got to be able to go out there and get a good qualifying pass for the next event. So if you can get that first round bye, already set you up for a good event. So we're still in the #1 slot for qualifying. So then you get to look at the track, get lane choice, hopefully you can go rounds of racing. Then in skills, I don't even decide what I'm going to do until everybody goes or the person that does whatever in front of me. So that's my strategy there. For freestyle, just try to fill the clock, backflip, wild moment, maybe hope for a good score.
Yeah, and really freestyle has been where it's really kind of panned out for you. You've been able to get those big wow moments and still land the truck and drive it in the pit stall too.
Yeah, you know, it's a testament to my crew. They make sure Zombie is good to go every time out. So hopefully today's no different. And we keep climbing that ladder, man. It'd be cool to go into Orlando with a points lead.
So are we feeling a little bit nervous, or are we feeling right where we need to be?
We're right where we need to be. No nervous energy. We're just here to have fun.
Thank you, Leslie. Never nervous, Bari Musawwir. Here is tonight's driver lineup for the East Series. Let's talk about the Kohlers. Adam, Chris finished 4th last round. Jim finished 7th. What would you like to see from the Michigan boys tonight?
Well, Bari just talked about it. You have to get the momentum in racing. If they can get the energy of the fans on their side here tonight in racing, they really can do some damage.
Tyler Menega, Bari Musawwir, as we mentioned, tied at the top of the series points standings. Let's take a look at those standings through round 15. Here's Zombie and Gravedigger 323, Classroom Crusher with 274, Jurassic Attack 265, and El Toro Loco 256, currently holding on to that 5th spot. Coach Stevens trying to elevate himself and Thunder Roars into the top 5. Drivers will compete tonight in 3 competitions: JCB Racing, the Skills Challenge, and Freestyle. Points are awarded based on finish, with 12 going to the winner of each competition. And the driver with the most points at the end of the event is crowned overall event champion. Let's get the track talk. Adam, we had a chance to see what this track could do last round. What were your takeaways and how can drivers navigate it tonight?
Well, one of the biggest thing I've seen here in Detroit is how hard the base is and how slick this track is. The drivers are really going to have to pay attention to traction. Do you go inside in racing, or do you find that cushion on the outside? In freestyle, it's all about carrying that momentum.
First competition of the night is JCB Racing. Let's see who's got the round 1 bias from last rounds of racing. Zombie, Vendetta, Jurassic Attack, and Avenger move on to round 2. Adam, which race do you like there in round 1?
I really like the Classroom Crusher El Toro Loco lineup. Camden Murphy is 4-0 against Armando Castro, and he made it to the semifinals in the last round. Look for Classroom Crusher to be on top tonight.
Armando might be a little hungry there, trying to get out of round 1 and get his first racing win. Right now, we are going down to the track at Ford Field for our first matchup of JCB Racing. Coach Stevens and Thunder Roars against Cynthia Gauthier and Lucas Stabilizer. And right now it is Thunderoris out early with the lead.
Looks like Cynthia lost just a little bit of traction coming out of turn 1. Let's see if she can make it up down the straightaway.
Into that straightaway, you can catch up a lot of room there hitting the throttle. Let's see if Colt Stevens can nail that final corner coming up to the finish line. And Cynthia Gauthier made it very, very close, but she is going to get the win. We were going to have to go to the replay there, but look at her.
Yeah, it just looks like Colt Stevens goes a little bit wide. He drives it in slightly too deep there, just giving a little bit of time up to Cynthia.
We continue on with the round 1 bracket. Chris Kohler in Mayhem in his hometown against Joe Foley in Axe, a battle between two Team Scream drivers. And here we go, second race kicks off. Chris Kohler now up into that berm corner, but Joe Foley has it as well, and Axe has the lead going into that far turn.
I really love the way Axe is hitting that rear steer early, getting that truck turned around.
This would have to be an upset if Joe Foley can pull it off. He goes deep on that corner. Chris takes a nice lane across the race ramp, and it's going to be Mayhem getting the win. Let's take a look at the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
This was the same thing that happened to Colt. He just pushed a little wide in that last corner. You can see here he grabs the inside pod in the first corner. Just a few little slight hiccups for Axe that gives the win to Chris.
Next up, Tyler Menega, Gravedigger, Kevin Crocker, Megalodon. Tyler lost his first race here last round. And with more to strategy tonight, we bring in Leslie Mears.
With the current track conditions, Tyler Menega told me he's really got to push it harder in racing, and one way he's going to do that is really throwing it into the turns early.
All right, thank you, Leslie. Did you risk anything by throwing it and slinging it into that corner?
Yeah, you have to risk a little bit. It's so dry and slick. You have to do that turn very, very early.
So Tyler slow down in that corner, gets a big-time win over Megalodon. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Here we see Megalodon just way too wide coming out of that first turn. You can't give up that much time to Tyler Menega. He's going to get the win every time.
Here's that race you talked about. Armando Castro, El Toro Loco, Camden Murphy, Classroom Crusher. Camden 14-10 on the year. Armando 10-12. And here we go. Winner gets the last spot going into round 2 of JCB Racing. And right now it's even at the halfway point.
Looks like Armando had just a little stutter coming into the first corner. Camden Murphy grabs that right front tire.
Camden up on 3 wheels. He's got to catch up here to El Toro Loco, final corner. But Camden Murphy stops on a dime around that turn, and Camden Murphy come from behind win. Classroom Crusher moving on. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
It looks like tonight that blue lane is a little bit more difficult. You can see Armando comes in a little wide, tries to apex slightly differently, but can't get the traction.
Lane choice becomes a factor starting next round. Let's take a look at our bracket. Moving into JCB Racing round 2. Zombie, Lucas Stabilizer, Vendetta, Mayhem, Jurassic Attack, Gravedigger, Avenger, Classroom Crusher, fastest round 1 time, Mayhem 21.535. Coming up, Bari Musawwir gets a chance to add to his racing win. Zombie is next on Primetime. Monster Jam is brought to you by JCB, the official heavy equipment partner of Monster Jam. We are back for more Stadium Championship Series East action in Detroit. It's time for round 2 of JCB Racing. Bari Musawwir in Zombie, Cynthia Gauthier, Lucas Stabilizer. And Bari pushes Cynthia up to that blue side. Then we will see if it pays off here with lane choice and Bari Musawwir. To the berm we go, and it is Zombie with a slight advantage over Lucas Stabilizer.
Bari Musawwir coming into turn 1, super hot, got up on 2 wheels, but has the advantage, slides out just a little bit.
Bari's such a great straight line driver, shows it right there on that far side. Up over that blue race ram, Zombie gonna get the win. And Bari Musawwir advancing to the semifinals with a time of 21.707.
The last corner in the blue lane is very slick. You see Cynthia coming in right here. Just looks like she has a tough time getting that truck turned and finding traction.
Up next, Vendetta against Mayhem with more on Mike and Vendetta. Let's check back in with Leslie Mears.
For Mike Christensen, it's all about keeping that wheel speed down in the corners and staying consistent. He also said a big thing is he's just got to stay out of his own head.
Thank you, Leslie. A lot of mental aspects of driving. It's not just about who can hit the throttle and hit the turns. And right now, Chris Kohler playing catch up. Mayhem trying to get it done for Vendetta, but Mike Christensen with a solid race there on the finish. And Mike Christensen moving on in JCB Racing. Take a look at the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Mike Christensen gets a nice win. Chris Kohler right here, you can see traction in that berm, gets up on 2 BKTs. Oh man, unfortunate for Chris.
Great race here. Dalton Wider, Jurassic Attack, Tyler Menega in Gravedigger. These two have met 5 times. Tyler's taken 4. And right out is Gravedigger with a solid start. Here comes Tyler Menega on that blue side.
Looks like Dalton just makes a slight hiccup going over that single, holds the rear steer just a little too long.
Got to be near perfect against Tyler Menega. He's showing you why right now that he does have to hit the brakes to not drift out in that corner. And here's the finish, Jurassic Attack and Gravedigger. And Gravedigger gets the win. Check out the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Gravedigger, one of the only ones coming away with a win in the blue lane. Tyler is on.
Our final race in this round, Jim Kohler in Avenger going up against Camden Murphy in Classroom Crusher. Jim in his 18th Detroit start. Best finish in racing in the semifinals back in 2007. Right now it's Camden Murphy going up over that hill. He's got the lead.
Camden Murphy with a little different strategy in turn 1. He goes really, really tight. Let's see if it pays off.
Final push here, Camden Murphy. 3-wheel turn, and Classroom Crusher going to get up over the finish line first. And Camden Murphy moving on to the semifinal round. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Jim Kohler looks like he hits the rear steer early, just pushes a tiny bit wide in that second corner there, loses a little bit of traction, and you can see he was trying to find the cushion in the last corner, goes wide. You see that shiny dirt, no traction once again.
Here is the bracket heading into the semifinals. Zombie meets Vendetta, Gravedigger, Classroom Crusher. Fastest time of the night in round 2, Gravedigger 21.342. 3 more races until we crown our first winner of the night. The semifinals begin when Monster Jam Primetime returns. Monster Jam is brought to you by the Utah Sports Commission. Utah, the state of sports. Salt Lake City, Utah is the home of Monster Jam World Finals 20 for tonight's home for Stadium Championship Series East Ford Field in Detroit, where we've reached the JCB Racing semifinals. And up first, Bari Musawwir in Zombie going up against Mike Christensen in Vendetta. Bari 2-1 against Mike this year. First spot in the finals up for grabs. Bari on the far side now hits the berm first. And Zombie trying to get the lead here, but it is Mike Christensen Vendetta with the lead.
Looks like Bari slowed down a little bit more than usual coming into that first turn, but stays smooth coming out of turn 2.
Into the final corner, there's Vendetta, goes wide, Zombie stays tight, on to the finish, and it is going to be a close one. We are going to go to the original Super Glue, Glue to the action replay. Zombie gets a win.
You can see this last turn, Mike Christensen really gets on the brakes well, but just not enough to beat Zombie. Bari Musawwir driving unbelievably tonight.
Final race pits Camden Murphy, Classroom Crusher, Tyler Menega, and Gravedigger. The track becoming a factor. And with Camden's thoughts, let's go to Leslie.
Guys, Camden is feeling confident about these corners. That's what he told his crew chief. And check out his super aggressive moves going in there, slamming on those brakes, whipping it and sliding it. That's what helped him get that last win. Hopefully he can get one here.
Even with that long straightaway, this track is specifically one of the corners. As we're seeing Tyler Menega with a good one right here. Camden Murphy trying to get across the finish line. But what a finish that was. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Let's watch the finish line here. Is it Camden Murphy?
Camden Murphy, 21.225. That's got to be an upset this year so far. There's your racing finals. Camden Murphy, Classroom Crusher, Zombies, Bari Musawwir. Bari 6-0 against Camden on the season, trying to make it a magnificent 7. There's a great look at Classroom Crusher. There is Zombie. Winner gets the first 12 points of the night. And we are off and running. The JCB Racing final round has begun. And right now it is Zombie with the lead.
Camden Murphy back in that gray lane. He has a lot of confidence in that corner. It's going to come down to the last turn. Can Bari Musawwir make it happen?
Bari drifting. He's up on 3 wheels. He goes deep. Camden Murphy with a tight turn. And that'll be the difference. Classroom Crusher gets it done. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Bari Musawwir knows he needed more. He goes into the last turn just a little tiny bit deep, tries to grab the cushion, but unfortunately can't make it happen.
21.213 is the fastest time of the night right here for Camden Murphy. It is his first racing win of the season. He's been waiting a while. Now he's got it, and he is out celebrating. Let's go down to Leslie with our winner.
Camden, you were super aggressive in those corners. It was a weird mixture of brake and throttle, and it was all finesse out there, and that's what helped you get that win.
Man, you know, racing is typically my game, and I have not been able to get out of my own way this year. Even the end of last year, it just was not going my way, but man, I have been trying so hard. Just things have not been going my way. But man, I tell you what, my hat's off to my crew guys, Shane and George. They worked their tails off last night because I put this truck through the paces, and I'm glad it was just as fast. It ran great here in racing, and I can't wait to get more Detroit here going.
How important is it to you, and how special is it that you get your first win in Classroom Crusher, though?
Man, it feels so good. I just feel like it took too dang long. I mean, man, we have just been struggling, like I said, so it feels great to finally get our first racing win here this year, and hopefully we keep on going and many, many more.
Better late than never for Camden Murphy. He gets the win. He gets 12 points and come with it. There's your first BKT leaderboard of the night. Classroom Crusher up top, Zombie in second, Gravedigger in third, Vendetta in fourth, and Jurassic Attack fifth. Now 4 points off the pace. One down in Detroit. Next up was the Skills Challenge, where drivers could attempt 2 technical maneuvers on 2 wheels. They could do a donut. Each driver was scored by an expert judge and the fans on creativity, skill, and execution, with 12 points up for grabs. Let's take a look at our top 5. And it covered in fit, no surprise here. Zombie with a donut.
Nice donut, slinging that dirt off the BKTs.
Taking fourth, Armando Castro and Toro Loco.
Little nose wheelie, grabs a popper off the front side of that freestyle ramp.
Jim Kohler, Avenger with a powerful donut.
Looks like he's gonna get some nice roost off those BKTs for the Detroit fans. Why not?
That gets him in third. Dalton Wider, Jurassic Attack. Love this move. You know, he likes to throw that steering wheel out the window at him.
Yeah, he does. Gets a little popper off the backside of the step up. There's the steering wheel right there. He's gonna throw it out on the ground. Just the weight of the truck is gonna turn those front wheels. Nice style from Dalton.
Gotta love the showmanship. Speaking of which, Tyler Menninga, Gravedigger, burying the red headlights into this Detroit dirt.
Gonna walk this thing out. Here's the moonwalk combination. Hits the throttle, gets it up and over the step up. Wow, so much precision back on that bumper. Tyler Menninga putting on an absolute grade A performance here in Detroit.
9.370 gets it done. So Tyler gets 12 more points with the win. We're going to check out our BKT leaderboard after 2. He's got 22. There is Dalton Wider, Jurassic Attack, 3 points off. Zombie, 3 points off the pace as well. Jim Kohler, solid night so far. He is 5 points off. Classroom Crusher as well in that top 5. Tyler picks up his third skills win of the season. Right now, let's go back to Leslie to join our skills winner.
Tyler, it got really sketchy out there when you were up on the backside of the step up. I thought you were going to go over. How were you able to keep it straight up?
Just got to stay calm in there. When it's chaos in the truck like that, you kind of got to let the truck do its thing and then react to that. So that's what I was doing in that move. It was awesome, but you know what? Here we go in freestyle. I'm ready to go.
You are. We have to talk about this tight points race that's going on. You know, how much is that playing a factor in your decisions on what you're going to do for freestyle?
None at all, because you know what? I don't need to sit here and dwell about it. Either I'm going to get the points back and win the tour, or I'm not. It doesn't matter. You know what? There's thousands of people here that came and paid their hard-earned money to watch Gravedigger run. I'm not going to go out, take it easy, check the boxes to get the points. I'm going hard from the start of 2 minutes to the end, and when the dust settles, we'll see what happens.
Tyler Menninga has Gravedigger back on top, but will he stay there? Freestyle is next on Primetime. Monster Jam is proud to partner with and support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit monsterjam.com/St. Jude to learn how you can join us in the fight against childhood cancer. We are back at Ford Field, where we've reached the second half of round 15 with Stadium Championship Series East. And we are back in the Monster Jam studio with more prime time. Adam, the pressure's been mounting on Tyler Menninga. Comes through in a big way with the skills win, and at least for now, keeps the points lead with Gravedigger.
Yeah, Scott, the best athletes in the world perform under pressure, and that is no different for Tyler Menninga. He faltered just a little bit in racing, but then he comes back and gets it done with a huge performance in two-wheel skills.
Camden Murphy started the night with his first JCB racing win of the season. With the battle between Bari and Tyler, Camden becomes a little bit of an afterthought here, but I still think he's having a great year in year one of Classroom Crusher.
Yeah, it's really tough, Scott, because a lot of hype and expectation comes with a new truck. He's definitely struggled just a little bit at the beginning, but he's been getting better and better and better, and now he's at his peak.
After 2 competitions, let's catch you up on the current BKT overall point standings. Gravedigger has the lead, but take a look at that top 5. Only 5 points separates Gravedigger, Jurassic Attack, Zombie, Avenger, and Classroom Crusher. Anything can happen in freestyle. Cynthia Gauthier currently holding on to that 6th spot, 9 points off the lead. Freestyle is the final competition of the night. Let's take a look at our freestyle running order. Adam, I want you to take a look at these bottom 3 here. That 10, 11, 12, Gravedigger, Zombie, Vendetta.
Yeah, I got to give the advantage to Gravedigger. He just goes slightly before those other drivers. Give the fans something they haven't seen yet.
After 2 competitions, drivers and crew chiefs currently in the pits working to get the trucks ready for an update. Let's go to Leslie in this Northern Tool and Equipment pit reports.
So the wire on the starter came off. You can see Brad in there with Joe Foley really trying to just get a new fitting on the end. This is going to be a really simple fix for these guys. But of course, if you can't get the starter going, you can't get this Monster Jam truck turned over. So pretty critical. Nice, easy fix for these guys. They'll be back to action soon.
Thank you, Leslie. Just another example of the smallest part could affect anybody. Now we're going to get back down to the track here at Ford Field to kick off our freestyle competition. Riding for Team Scream, this is Kevin Crocker in Megalodon. And Adam, that Megalodon shark looks a little worse for wear as we take a look at our criteria. They got to get 30 seconds to qualify for a score. Failure to complete 1 minute of this run gets a 1-point deduction. And once again, fans and an expert judge scoring on creativity, technical moves, and combinations. Now Kevin Crocker with a nice floater. Began competing all the way back in 2014. Joined Team Scream in 2020 behind the wheel of El Toro Loco. Now back for his 2nd stint after taking some time off. Nice bicycle there from Megalodon. He's going to try to save it. And Kevin Crocker with a great save to start the night.
That is the momentum Kevin needed to get this freestyle run going, get the hype for the fans. This could be big.
Back in 2020, Kevin had one of the most memorable 2-wheel skills runs I've seen as a Monster Jam host, and right now he is trying to get something going in Megalodon. But Kevin is a technical driver, and he's capable of hitting this right truck the way he needs to and getting a save.
Yeah, Kevin, very, very talented driver. Hasn't had the luck thus far this season, but it seems like he's turning that around right now. Definitely the best freestyle run we've seen so far from Kevin.
2nd career start here at Ford Field. You see the dirt starting to roost on the track. Now Kevin Crocker going to try for another bicycle here, going to the well once again. He's got to try to save it. And unfortunately, one too many times on the bicycle. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
He's driving in the middle of that freestyle area, getting a little cross-threading going, and you're able to find those 2-wheel skills like that. Kevin Crocker makes the first save, but on the 2nd save, he doesn't get those front wheels turned into the dirt and unfortunately lands on the hood.
Next up out of Knoxville, Tennessee, this is Dalton Widener in Jurassic Attack riding for Team Throttle Monster. He has had some great freestyle runs this season. And you got to have some strategy here in Ford Field. We've seen that so far with an update on Dalton's freestyle strategy at Ford Field. Let's go to Leslie.
Dalton Widener took a look at the freestyle event from Detroit on Saturday and decided, you know what, my run needs a wow moment. And so he decided that he's going to mix in a lot of big air. He said that seemed to get a lot of response from the crowd out here, and then end it with a big finale. He's looking for a big air moment or a bicycle to really cap things off to boost that score.
Thank you, Leslie. Frustrating end to his run in round 14, finished 11th, rolled with 37 seconds on the clock. There's a vertical brake check. Sky Willie from Dalton Widener, who trails the event lead by 3. A big run here could put him in the driver's seat for the overall event championship.
Yeah, and Leslie talked about it. He said big air is going to be his strategy, and for Dalton, I think that's a great strategy. The Monster Jam fans love a little bit of big air and 2-wheel skills mixed in together, but we'll have to wait and see what he pulls out.
It's the 3rd highest freestyle average on this series. There's some nice air, threads the needle on the landing. Great placement there into a slap wheelie combo. He doesn't shy away from the backflip. We'll see if it comes into play. Just big jump after big jump, and again, the placement for Dalton Widener, getting the front end of that truck up to get a slap wheelie combo. There's a score to beat, 7.373.
Dalton right now has great momentum. I love what he's doing with the big air. He's executing exactly what he said he was going to do.
Big jump again, brake check. Oh, the wheel comes off the wagon. And that wheel is going to keep bouncing here in Detroit right into Tyler Menninga. Take a look at the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Here's that big jump. He's going to just get over this jammer right on the backside. That's the first jump. He does a great job of getting that combination move. And then here's that last jump. Looks like the wheel just cannot hang on.
Gives him the lead, though. We are just getting started here in Motown. More Monster Jam Freestyle is next on Primetime. Welcome back to round 15 of Monster Jam. Today's festivities kicked off with the most family-oriented pit party in motorsports as fans arrive to meet their favorite drivers and take pictures with the trucks. And if you want to attend the pit party at your next Monster Jam event, get your tickets at monsterjam.com. Moments ago, Freestyle continued with El Toro Loco.
This is an unfortunate part in Monster Jam. Sometimes you just have those technical difficulties. Armando comes to an end.
From Houston, two-time World Finals champion Colt Stevens piloting Thunderosaurus with an update on Colt's freestyle formula here in Detroit. Let's bring Leslie Mears back in.
Colt Stevens usually isn't a driver that repeats the same freestyle run, but for this particular track, he said he has found a pattern that really works for him. The other thing that he said he's found is the perfect way to downside these jumps while getting big air. And why he wouldn't tell me exactly what it is, he said, I'm going to keep this one close to the vest because I'm the first one to figure it out, and I think it's really going to help my freestyles.
All right, thank you, Leslie. The two-time World Finals champion does have an event championship on this track last year, so Colt does have a winning formula when it comes to Detroit, and we're seeing it right here. Big air there for Thunderosaurus, and he makes a save. Would have been so easy for him to be able to keep going over, but Colt's such a veteran driver, able to make the catch at him and get that save right in the proper space.
Yeah, definitely one of the best drivers technically wise. He's able to slow the truck down and just really thread the needle in so many different places, hit the brakes at the perfect time, get the truck slowed down, anticipate the bounce, and get a turn like that. See if he can make the save.
Oh, he can't get the save. I don't know if he lost power in the front, but unable to get the save, couldn't hit the throttle, and that'll end the run. Here's a super glue. Look at the action replay.
Yeah, you see the big air right here. He's going to get a big bounce, and what's going to happen is he's going to land on that left side. You see Colt make that turn into the front wheels, but the front wheels are just not pulling, and he cannot pull off the save.
Lead stays with Jurassic Attack. Here is Michigan native Chris Kohler in Mayhem. Won freestyle here last year, bringing back Northern Nightmare, but a disappointing finish for Chris last round as he starts off with the end over end floater right into a nose really great combo. But when you're in your hometown stadium, you don't want to finish 7th in freestyle after winning it the year before.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. You have a lot of confidence coming in, but sometimes you just can't find that magic again. And for Chris Kohler, he's been struggling in his hometown in this new Mayhem truck, but let's see if he can figure it out in this freestyle run.
New freestyle wins on the season for Chris Kohler. You can always count on him for multiple freestyle wins each and every year since he was co-rookie of the year. Now building some momentum. Mayhem again, sideways, a little side slap, was able to get it down on all 4 BKT tires. How important is that traction on the BKT tires in a stadium like Ford Field?
Well, it's huge because that's what's going to give you the speed and momentum to hit these jumps and get those big airs like Dalton was talking about. But another thing that's so great for Chris is he does enjoy, and the rear tire is off of Mayhem.
That's the second time now we have seen a wheel just keep going. Take a look at the super glue. Glue to the action replay.
Wow, this Detroit floor is so hard packed. It is just destroying these trucks. That right rear wheel cannot hang on, comes off and rolls away.
8.430. That brings us to Camden Murphy in Classroom Crusher. Making his 8th start here on this track, looking for a freestyle win in Classroom Crusher. He started the night with a JCB Racing win.
Definitely a crucial moment for Camden here. He has the momentum from that racing win, like you mentioned. Camden Murphy would really like to cap this event off with a freestyle win, come out here, get that momentum going into the last half of the season, and maybe even make a push for a points lead.
Well, he's still fighting for the event championship, comes into freestyle, trailing the event lead by 5, but we've seen Dalton Wider and Jurassic Attack with the freestyle lead, so Camden would obviously need to take the lead here and get some help if he wants to win it. That's going to do it right there, though. Nice jump for Camden Murphy, slap wheelie combo from Classroom Crusher. Comes back again to the other side of the track, going from one side to another slap wheelie. Great pickup there, the front two wheels coming up.
Great pattern Camden Murphy has right now. I love the way he's utilizing all the jumps on the track. He had a nice big air.
Only one freestyle win on the season so far. Camden not doing the brake check. That way he gets a nice bounce and is able to keep the momentum going. That body on Classroom Crusher hanging on by a thread as we see the fiberglass just shredding off the chassis.
Another big jump. Looks like that body is going to come off here soon. Another huge jump from Classroom Crusher.
9.096 is the score to beat. Camden Murphy definitely shredding that back end, and he is going to make a hard turn here into that Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. Here comes Classroom Crusher driving in. Camden Murphy goes up center lane on the ramp, comes back. He's going to break the back two wheels, maybe two broken tie rods on that landing, but hits the backflip nonetheless, Adam.
Yeah, the tie rod snaps off, but that was the wow moment he was looking for. A nice air here at the beginning of his run, gets a good bounce with the combination move, and then we see the backflip. He chooses to go to that very right side, over-rotates slightly, snaps the tie rod off the back, and that will end his run.
9.539. Camden Murphy has Classroom Crusher at the head of the class, but will he get the freestyle win? Find out next. Monster Jam is brought to you by Spin Master. Crush it, crash it, jam it. Welcome back to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. During the break, freestyle continued as we take a look at Cynthia Gauthier and Lucas Stabilizer. Adam coming off the ramp here.
Yeah, this hard-packed dirt here in Detroit grabs another driver. Bad bounce, frustrating run for Cynthia.
And that's a 1-point deduction for not meeting that 1 minute mark. Joe Foley trying to avoid that from happening to Axe.
Yeah, another frustrating one, more electrical issues.
And unfortunately, he is shut down there with 1 minute remaining. Up next, Team Scream's Jim Kohler driving Avenger in his 25th year. Jim is still a student of the game, still learning, studies these ramps. And with an update on this, we bring Leslie back in.
Jim Kohler got some of the biggest, wildest air of the season Saturday, but he learned his lesson. He said with these ramps being as steep as they are, you really, really have to take a lot of time and really square up to these ramps and hit them straight. If you don't, it's going to send you sideways and land on the corner, and that's where he got into trouble with some breakage. So look for him to hit them square, straight, and really hard today.
If Jim Kohler is teaching about driving a Monster Jam truck, Adam, I'm listening every step of the way. How important is it not just to jump and go as fast as you can and as high as you can, but how important is it to study the faces of these ramps to try to get it at the right angle?
Well, just like Supercross, it is so vital to know exactly the angle of every ramp, where the ruts are developing, because just a little bit of a rut can really push that truck left or right in the air. And if you land on the left side or the right side, it can be a huge bounce that you just don't know where the truck is going to go. So that is a crucial part of Monster Jam and flying these trucks so high through the air.
Extreme air there for Jim Kohler and Avenger. Vertical sky wheelie with a brake check. He's going over. He's going to try to make
Turn into it. There we go.
And Jim Kohler with possibly the save of the night keeps Avenger back on all 4 BKT tires, and he's not done yet, Adam.
Wow, the crowd is on their feet. I'm excited here. Jim Kohler.
8-pack backflip for Avenger. He nails it, and he's not done yet. Coming for that score, 9.539. Classroom Crusher has the lead. Maybe not anymore.
This is the Monster Jam run we're looking for. Very creative, something different, something we haven't seen. Jim Kohler on fire in his hometown.
7-time Extreme Air Award winner, showing the fans in Detroit why. And he's still not done, trying for another save. Gets it onto the sidewalls and finally runs out of momentum. But what a run. Check out the original super glue. Glue to the action replay.
Here's that huge sky wheelie and air from Jim Kohler. He's going to get the big bounce, but his veteran skills are going to make sure he turns into that, hits on the throttle hard, pulls him right out. Avenger just putting on a display, and then the 8-pack backflip almost under rotates but stays on the throttle once again. And then here doing a little bit of cross-threading. You can see the truck gets a little sideways, gets up on 2 BKTs here. tries to turn into it once again, throws the truck onto the other side, lands on the hood, but he'll be happy with that run.
Jim loves that 8-pack. The fans love him. There is the score, 9.599, the new leader in his hometown, Jim Kohler, an Avenger. Our next competitor is battling not only for the series points lead, but also the event championship. It's Tyler Menega and Gravedigger. Tyler needs to finish 5th or better here to stay in the hunt for the event championship trophy and eliminate Dalton Widener from contention.
Tyler Menega definitely struggled just a little bit in freestyle with this new truck. It seems like they got the settings better and better, getting a little crab walk action going. Hopefully that rear steer isn't giving fits once again.
Let's talk about freestyle for the current World Finals freestyle champion. His average on this series right now, Adam, is 5th. You don't expect to see that from Tyler Menega, and that is what has really been keeping Bari Musawwir in the series points race.
It definitely has, but Bari is doing something else too. He's staying consistent and capitalizing on those 5th places. Tyler Menega obviously not showing his full potential in this new truck with that 5th position average, but Bari Musawwir doing exactly what he needs to do to stay in it.
Did elevate that finish last round here, finishing 4th in the freestyle competition. As you mentioned, 11 competition wins in 2025, 2 overall event championships, and 2 freestyle wins. Gravedigger now picking up some momentum as Tyler Menega looks to continue his run here and try to win the event championship. Swings Gravedigger back around, now coming into that long straightaway. Really hitting that throttle hard is Tyler Menega. He's going right for the Morgan backflip. So here comes Tyler Menega trying to get the freestyle win. Gravedigger comes into the ramp, a little far to the right. He's going to corkscrew it a little bit on the turn to correct himself, and he does a great job landing it.
Trying to get another wow moment after that backflip is crucial. See if Tyler can get that momentum going and give us something right here at the end.
9.599 is a score to beat. We just saw that from Jim Kohler, an Avenger. Tyler Menega known for that
another
wide wow moment, and he hits another one. And Tyler Menega, 2 backflips in freestyle. Take a look at the original super glue to the action replay.
Here's the first backflip, gets a little corkscrew, but that BKT hooking up right there at the end to make the save. And then, wow, we have not seen this all year long. Something new in Monster Jam. Tyler Menega, wow.
Not even a backflip ram, but not enough to take the lead. As we check out our current freestyle leaderboard, Avenger still at the top of the leaderboard. Classroom Crusher in 2nd, Gravedigger in 3rd, Jurassic Attack in 4th, and Mayhem currently holding on to that 5th spot. Coming up, the series points lead is on the line. We crown our freestyle winner next on Primetime. We are back with the conclusion of freestyle here at Ford Field in Detroit. Our next competitor out of Orlando, Florida, Bari Musawwir in Zombie. He trails the event lead right now. And now the series points lead by 3 points. So Bari needs to win freestyle here to win the event championship. No pressure at all.
No pressure at all. Points are on the line, championships on the line. Mr. Consistent has to perform.
Finished 2nd here, last round, 3 freestyle wins on the season. His average is the 2nd highest on the series at 8.257 as he makes his 5th career start here at Ford Field.
Now for Bari, being a driver, being an athlete, looking at this particular situation, I wouldn't expect Bari to go all out here in Detroit. You don't want to wreck the points lead or the points tie that you just got. You want to try to stay consistent, and that's what Bari really does best. This is going to be a solid freestyle run. Put yourself in the top 5 and come away with some good points here in Detroit.
Bari, throughout his career, has really found himself this late in the season fighting for that 3rd, 4th, 5th spot. So right now, Bari has a rare opportunity to be in front here and be the one that everybody's trying to catch. Is your strategy a little different if you are being chased as opposed to chasing the championship?
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult situation to be in. Like you said at the top, a lot more pressure, but Bari's truck performing perfectly right now. It looks like the truck is settling well. The suspension package and setting is perfect for Bari. So if he does want to go all out, he definitely can.
Front clip of that zombie body showing right now. There is a score to be 9.599. Jim Kohler, Avenger, with a freestyle lead so far. Bari Musawwir now settling in again, as you said, clips the back two wheels, still able to keep that momentum, keep throttle rhythm happening. Now he's going to drive in for the Morgan & Morgan backflip. Here goes Zombie for the freestyle win, possibly right here. Zombie goes up, and Bari Musawwir going to land it into a modified moonwalk on the back end. And that is going to do it. So Bari Musawwir not able to continue his freestyle run. Tough break as we check out the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Now watch the backflip. He's going to go for the combination move, and he gets really close to the containers. I'm wondering if he gets shut off right there at the end.
Our final competitor won freestyle here last round. It's Mike Christensen driving Vendetta. And for more on what Mike needs to do, which we talked about Mike Christensen winning freestyle last round, how important that was to him, how much that meant to his career to get that first freestyle win of the season. So to check in on his strategy here in Detroit and Ford Field, let's hear from Leslie Mears.
Guys, going last is a tough spot to be in, and Mike Christensen told me that for him to compete, he's got to keep up his speed and consistency and then capitalize on those big moments when they present themselves. He also said, and I quote, it tells him how stupid he has to be. And based on what we've seen here tonight, he's going to have to up the ante a lot if he's going to beat Kohler here.
Mike Christensen saying how stupid he has to be. Now, that's not something you want to use to describe yourself. Now, if he was calling you that, I would understand that, but, you know, not for yourself. What do you think about that, though? How stupid you have to be? What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, from a driver's perspective, that's just how much you have to turn your brain off and launch it to the absolute moon, and that's what we've seen Jim Kohler do in his freestyle run. Sometimes you just have to turn your brain off. You're not going to do the smartest decision.
No.
You're just going to do what you have to do to get the win.
Mike having one of the best freestyle seasons of his career as far as average goes, as he's up near the top of this series. And now trying to get the freestyle win to go back-to-back in Detroit. What a coup that would be for Team Throttle Monster to walk out of Detroit with 2 freestyle wins.
Mike Christensen definitely in a tough situation going last. I can see how slick this floor is. Very hard to get momentum to get that big air right now.
Avenger still has a lead with that incredible run from Jim Kohler. Here is the Morgan & Morgan backflip for Vendetta. Mike Christensen driving in on the gray side, and he flips Vendetta around. He's going to land it back on the wheelie bar.
Bounce.
And just too much and not enough room on the back end. Take a look at the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Watch the backflip. He's going to under-rotate just a little bit. He gets a bad bounce off to the left side. And even if he did pull this off, unfortunately, he wouldn't be able to keep going because he grabbed that container.
A little bit of a low score there for Vendetta as we check out our final freestyle leaderboard. Avenger gets the win with a 9.599. Classroom Crusher in second. Gravedigger with that incredible backflip right there in third. Jurassic Attack in fourth. And Zombie rounds out the top 5. So for Jim Kohler, this is the second freestyle win of the season. He does it right here on his home track in Detroit. So the celebration beginning for Team Scream as we check in with Leslie and Jim Kohler.
Jim, that was insane out there. You had huge air, big moments, and you capitalized on every opportunity that was given to you tonight.
You know what? I just, from being from Detroit, this is my hometown. A lot of greats come from here. Bob Seger, Kid Rock, Eminem, Jim Kohler, the Lions. We're here. We rock. This place was awesome. Those fans were my 12th man on the field tonight. They were cheering. They got electric. They got wild. I laid it down. It was awesome. Awesome. Woo, yeah!
I don't think I've ever seen Eminem drive like that. Makes me spaghetti, though, here in Detroit. Here's our final BKT overall event leaderboard. Gravedigger gets it done with 32. Avenger finishes in second. Classroom Crusher in third. Jurassic Attack in fourth. And Zombie in fifth. So Tyler Menninga gets back on the podium, winning his third overall event championship of the season for Team Gravedigger. Now let's join Leslie Mears and our overall event champion.
A great event from top to bottom. And you know, Tyler, it's been a while since you've been able to string one of those together.
I know, I was almost getting embarrassed. Like, truthfully, it's not a joke. I mean, as much as I do joke behind the scenes and everything, but I was getting down on myself about it. And this right here, Matt turning the wrenches behind the truck, is this huge confident boost. Going to Orlando, going to Jacksonville here in the next couple. But you know what? That's where Gravedigger thrives, is in Florida. And I can't wait to get down there and see everybody.
Thanks, Leslie. So a couple takeaways here, Adam. Jim Kohler coming up big in his hometown, the freestyle women. How about Tyler Menninga tonight, getting that Gravedigger ship back in the right track, picks up the win, and is now back in sole possession of the series points lead.
Yeah, Scott, timing is everything, and Tyler Menninga comes away with a big win right at the right time, but there is no rest for him as Bari is only 5 points behind.
You can stay in the hub of this series by joining us right here for round 16 from Orlando. For Adam and Leslie, I'm Scott Jordan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right here next time on Primetime.